Hello, and welcome to Short People Shorts. By short people, I'm referring to diminutive human beings, more frequently referred to as children. By shorts, I'm alluding to humorous anecdotes notable for their brevity. Let's begin. Many years ago, I received a package from Amazon. I was opening it up. My first daughter, Madeline, very young in those days, said, "What's that?" And I opened it up and I said, "This is a book about jazz improvisation." She said, "What's improvisation?" I said, "That means making it up as you go along." And she said, "Then why would you need a book about it?" Why indeed? I started taking piano lessons when I was 7 years old. I remember in that first year, brand new piano student, and my parents said, "Kevin, come look at this." And there was a music concert on the television, concert pianist, tucks and tails, expansive concert grand piano. I'd never seen one of those before. And he's sitting in front of a symphony orchestra and playing world-class music. And I watched him and I said, I could never do that. I could never go that long without scratching. When my daughter Carly was maybe 8 years old, she was very excited because her birthday was coming up, and she would start every day by saying, "In 10 days is my birthday." Next day, "In 9 days is my birthday." And then she realized she could bring her birthday one day sooner by saying, "Tomorrow it'll be 7 days to my birthday. And tomorrow it'll be 6 days till my birthday." Well, in that very week, we were trying to get her to try new food. And she's a little bit picky eater, fair to say. And we had this little cube of roast chicken. I'm talking tiny, like this big squared, okay? And I'm trying to get her to eat the food, and no. "Carly, just take the chicken, and then you can do whatever you want tonight." No. And I said, "Carly, this night can be really difficult, or this night can be wonderful. It depends on you. You eat the chicken, you can do whatever you want, have all the fun you want. What do you want, Carly? Difficult or wonderful?" And she said, "Either is fine, because in a few days is my birthday, and that will be good." At that point, I didn't care about the chicken anymore. I thought that was a brilliant response. Now there's a kid who can delay gratification. For a number of years, I have been a school bus driver. Elementary kids. The thing about an elementary kid is they're still young enough to think the school bus driver is cool. So when I'm waiting to drop at the school, I have to wait till 7:30 rolls around before I can open the door and let them off. And the kids will stand here along my right side, and many of them will engage with me because they think it's fun to talk to the school bus driver. So one kid one day says, "You want to hear a joke?" And I said, "Sure." He said, "Why did the turtle poop on your head?" "I don't know. He wanted to wear lipstick." Well, unfortunately, I laughed, and the kid was all encouraged. He said, "I've got so many jokes." And against my better judgment, I said, "Okay, let's hear another joke." He looks around. "Why did the school bus poop on the other school bus?" "I don't know." "Because the bus was alive with eyes." Admittedly, his delivery was better than his material. Another day at an elementary school. Now it's the end of the day and I'm picking kids up. Cold day. Everyone's wearing jackets as they get on the bus, but the bus is warm because it's been running, right? So a girl comes running on the bus. She couldn't have been more than a first grader, probably a kindergartner. She pops into the front seat where her friend is, and she curls up in her coat and says, "I'm going to hibernate." And I said, "Hibernate? What are you, a bear?" She said, "I'm a woodchuck." And I said, "Woodchuck, this is great. Something I have always wondered. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood?" And she goes all deer in the headlights. And I said, "Didn't you just tell me you're a woodchuck?" And the girl says, "She is." You are. Okay, I'm obviously not going to get my answer. About 15 seconds later, the girl calms down, looks me in the face and says, 700. And I said, "Really? That much wood?" Now we know. In those days, I made a series of videos that I've posted to YouTube called Kev's Bus. They were songs about the busing profession. I would usually take a classic rock tune and change the words so it had something to do with being a bus driver. Here's an example of one of them.
They don't get all my jokes, but I think they'll come around, 'cause I'm busing on, busing to another school. Busing on, baby, the road is dry, the tank is full of fuel.
I played this for my elementary kids and they loved it. They all started saying, again. Then it calms down and one little girl says, Kevin, why did you say bussing on a baby? I said, no, not bussing on a baby. I'm bussing on, baby. Yeah, she couldn't quite catch that shade of difference. And I thought, oh my goodness, the horrible image I put in this kid's mind. It's like the time my daughter Madeline started playing violin as a 6-year-old, I think. Suzuki violin. If you know anything about Suzuki, the first several weeks are devoted to Twinkle Twinkle Little Star with different bowing patterns. So it's pepperoni pizza, pepper, etc. And then it's stop, pony, stop, pony, stop, pony, stop. And then peanut butter, peanut. And I've got 6-8 weeks of this and I'm going cuckoo. And I thought, well, she knows the first 6 notes of the major scale. The pentatonic scale is in there. Gosh, there's lots of nursery rhymes I could teach her. So just to break things up, I taught her London Bridge is Falling Down. And I taught her Scotland's Burning, which I taught her first by singing the song. Scotland's burning, look out, fire, 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 pour on water. And I taught her where the notes go, and she gets it, she nails it, she's got it. And then at some point she looks at me and says, Daddy, is he burning or just his clothes? No, Scotland's not a person. It's mine. I'm burning. Pour on water. Here's another one that involves my elementary kids. This time, end of the day, picking up kids. In the back of a school bus, you probably know this, there's an emergency exit. It takes up a fair amount of room, so one of the seats in the back is full size and the other one is compressed, okay? It's narrower. The kid gets on the bus, goes to the back of the bus and finds 2 girls sitting in the smaller seat. And he says, bus driver, there's 2 girls sitting in the small seat in the back. And I said, okay. He said, it's against the rules. It's a violation. I thought, man, this kid's really committed to this. And at the end of the day, I went into the base. I talked to one of my superiors. I said, do we have a rule against having 2 kids in a small seat? He said, not that I know of. And of course, there is no rule about that. But this kid was committed. It reminded me of the time in 1980, I started teaching at Schmidt Music, Edina, Galleria Mall. One of my first kids on my first day of teaching was a fellow named Eric Pemberton. 10 years old, I imagine. Eric was a great kid, tremendously funny, had a very sophisticated sense of humor, and he was a good drummer, fun to work with. Okay, so I'm working with Eric, and we are working on 6/8 march rhythms, and he was going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6, 1. And I'm saying, Eric, everything you're doing is great. But you have to remember, a 6/8 march usually goes about this fast. And he takes his sticks and he shakes them and he looks up at the ceiling and says, but it's 6/8 timing! That was his whole rebuttal. So his defense was flimsy, but spirited. I believe Eric is now a high-ranking Republican. Many years ago, in late autumn, I remember a morning where the frost was thick on the grass. The thickest frost I had ever seen on grass up to that time and since that time. I've never seen anything like it. And this morning, the sun was out and it was dazzling, absolutely stunning to look at. I was with my older brother that day, and his son, Justin, was, I'm going to say, 4, 5. Justin was a delightful kid, and he came running up to me. Kevin, do you see that Jack Frost came and put frosting on the ground? One night I was saying bedtime prayers with my daughter Carly. We had a cat in those days. His name was Brecker. He was a great cat. Big cat. Big old orange tabby. 22 pounds. I mean, he was a great cat, but he was obviously carrying a few more than he should. And at the end of my prayer, I said, and Lord, help Brecker to stay fat for one more day. Amen. And Carly looked at me and said, why would you say that? And I said, well, you know, sometimes when I'm praying, I like to throw in something real easy that you know is going to happen. It just kind of strengthens my faith. And Carly said, oh, yeah. And Carly said, and Lord, help us remember to wear pants. Oh, you know what that sound means. We're out of time.